Hi, and welcome to Charot Room with your Queen Charotera, FaelnarTe. Minus all of my anaks, I'm an empty nester already. But I'm joined by two of my favorite people that I go to church with, Founders MCC. They're both from Founders MCC. One of them is an HIV/AIDS advocate, a fashion diva, and an LGBTQ
Yes.
advocate. Welcome, Oriel.
Yay.
Welcome,
Oriel
everyone.
Briguela. Hi,
Hi.
thanks for joining me, Oriel. And we have, oh God, the amazing Reverend Camille
Ako.
Araullo.
Soon
Soon
to
to be
be.
Reverend
Soon to
Camille
be.
Araullo. She's finishing up her seminary studies. Also an LGBTQ
Yes.
advocate, singer for with Jane and Together Blessed, and
Mhm.
a proud queer faith leader. Kaya nga soon to be Reverend
Mm.
Camille
Hi.
Araullo.
Hello. Good evening. Good
Hi.
morning, good evening kung saan man kayo.
So, thank you for joining me in this little discussion. I know that elections has just been over. Like the what do you call this? What was the elections in Georgia again? The runoff
Runoff.
elections, and then
Mhm.
we
Yes.
had elections that's never seemed to end because
Di ba?
because of all of the stuff. Pero
Yes.
my question is, I mean, just before we start actually the discussion, just to let you know, we're all
Magpe-pray ba tayo? Before we start, parang, okay.
pwede, pero I mean, we're all like kind of Democrats, right? I mean,
Yes.
speaking for all of us.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so
Yes.
my question is,
Uy,
why do
di ba
you
dapat may disclaimer ka kasi lahat
oh
kami tayo Democrats.
also nga, lahat kami Democrats. So ang
Watch
disclaimer
out.
nga namin na we are going to talk about an issue that might will obviously be one-sided because like there's no other
Mm-hmm.
voice in the room that's since we're all Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Pero I felt the need to talk about it as a responsible LGBTQ advocate, especially a trans advocate. And
Yes.
um, what best way to talk about it with people that I know are loving Christians coming from
Yes.
founders. So
Mm-hmm.
with that said, the question is, why do you think a lot of Filipinos or Fil-Ams are Trump supporters, or 34%, according to Asian Journal survey?
Mauna ka yan.
Actually, it's still what do you call this? Um, it still blows my mind why there's a lot of Filipino who are well basically not really Trump supporter. They are they stick to become Republican and somehow they become fanatic of Duterte of Trump of Trump. Somehow some of them are fanatic din ni Duterte, the president of the Philippines. I don't know how
Mm.
or what, but basically most of them are conservative. Most of them are conservative.
Mm.
They do believe on that, and some of those um I think they are parang kinakain na sila nung white privilege.
Mm,
Most of them, I think,
I
they think
mean, that's
they feel that they are white already. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if you're willing to share. Like the reason why I wanted you, Oriel, here to be here is like you post a lot of stuff. Say, do you mind if I share this?
Yes, go.
It's about you saying like it doesn't matter like how much you drink Clorox, you're still not gonna be white or something like that.
Exactly.
And
Mm.
Exactly.
I find that funny. Why do you say stuff like that?
Because they can never be white. I they're trying. Like most of them. I know somebody, but like
Itago na lang
um
natin siya sa pangalang somebody.
somebody, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. She moved here like when she was like 15, something like that, 15, 16, and somehow the way she looks on the people in the Philippines is different than on the way she looks in here. The way she looks, like parang tumaas yung level niya tumaas yung tingin niya sa sarili niya. And alam mo yun, I don't know, parang she's trying to be like a white person, like feeling niya privilege, or probably because hindi siya what do you call this, hindi siya naapektuhan ng mga nangyayari. Alam mo yun?
I can understand.
It's hard to on the one hand, our culture is very ano tag dito? It's very much we claim that we have the colonial mentality.
Mentality.
Diba?
Yes.
Anything that is American. So I think about, so what does that have to do with voting for Trump? Okay, fine. We copy, we emulate American made products. We say that they're the best things. Pero so here's a man who is, the president of America. Why are we voting for him? What does that have to do with anything like that? It's para bang, like you said, yeah, even if you vote for him, you're still Filipino. It doesn't really have anything to do with becoming American, right? I think we were talking about this earlier, and in fact, I remember in 2016 when he won. A small group of us gathered and wondered what happened, who voted, and why did the Filipinos vote for him then? And it's the same reasons, I think, this time around. It's very much religious based.
It is.
It doesn't. I somehow I even feel na kahit, even if it's not Trump, basta any Republican is automatically supported by many Filipinos because they automatically think na Republicans are more conservative than Democrats who are more liberal. And of course, as we said kanina, Lee, prior to the show, it's a lot about issues of abortion, yung mga religious issues natin that we have in the Philippines that are deemed very, serious, diba? Sa atin, abortion, gay marriage, and mga ganyan. So it doesn't. I feel that even if it wasn't Trump, if it was another Republican president, Filipinos will vote for them simply for that. It doesn't matter what their record is. I mean, clearly, wala silang pakialam sa mga accusations of rape, mga ginagawang mga kalokohan ni Trump, because he represents conservatism, right? Conservatism. So parang walang, kahit sino, basta Republican, boboto mga Pilipino.
Yeah.
Parang ganun.
Because somehow like nakaka-relate sila on the issues that Republicans are throwing, like example, the immigration and what do you call this, the immigration, like that.
What about immigration?
Oh, they hate those, like, what do you call this, yung mga nagti-TNT.
But then
somehow.
but then isn't a lot of, I mean, like, aren't a lot of Filipinos guilty of also doing, like, coming here? I know it's visa still, because most of us come here with a tourist visa. Sorry. Sorry to out y'all, but some of us have come here. I mean, like, I'm not gonna say like anybody from this group, because I didn't, and I know you didn't, Oriel, and I know you didn't, Atikam. But like a lot of Filipinos come here with tourist visas, and then they just
They
extend
stayed.
their stay. I mean, they still manage to get sponsorship or whatnot, but
Mm-hmm.
like, but why? I mean, but
Lee,
why?
that's an excellent question. When I first moved to the States, my dad petitioned my brother and I, kasi he's an American citizen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit, on a full disclosure, when it came to immigration issues back in the day, I was for laws to that were for not necessarily closing the borders, but I felt very passionately about if you're illegal, parang
Mm-hmm.
dapat hindi ka dito or gumawa ka ng paraan to be legal
Mm-hmm.
here. And the reason for me personally was because para bang for me then ako I had to sacrifice to do things to get here
Mm-hmm.
to be legal, and then yung iba papasok lang illegally, parang so back
Mm-hmm.
then ang isip ko ay hindi fair kung naghintay ako ng 13 years. Dapat gumawa sila if that meant going back to the Philippines and coming back to the States, parang gano'n. Very ako, parang akin to, pinaghirapan ko to. Pero it's really bigger than that. It's about human
Yeah.
rights. It's human
Mm-hmm.
decency, especially for people who are working here, paying their taxes kahit walang papel, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
They're contributing to society, tapos gaganunin mo. I mean, it's bigger than
Yeah.
laws,
Mm-hmm.
So
It really
what
is.
change? So I, aside from like them paying for taxes and like paying their dues when they
Hmm?
already come here, what other things made you change your mind? Like, cause if for me, when you see I don't want to cry, but when you see like
Sabi ko na eh.
when you see kids being separated from their families and then
Families.
being detained, I mean, ang sakit kaya pag ito nangyari sa somebody that's Filipino. And
It's very traumatic.
yeah, I mean,
It's very traumatic for the kids.
and you
You
also
know?
don't know the political climate of the country that they're coming from. Maybe they're
Yeah.
just trying to seek asylum.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so back that's basically what made me like, because like Ate Camille, I agree. Like back then when I didn't know better, before I went to MCC, MCC is a big eye
Mm-hmm.
opener. Just to put it out there. Um, yeah, I thought like my mom paid so much money so that she can
Yeah.
petition me to come here. Like, so why are other people just come here without like all of the stuff that my mom sacrificed so
Mm-hmm.
that they can come here? Pero
Right.
that just that part where you just there's so many other factors that you don't know about the person coming here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Na it's
Yeah.
bakit hindi siya bigyan ng at least fair chance,
Yeah.
or like lost na magkaroon sila ng way na maging
Yes.
citizen and
Right.
then work their way up into being
Yeah.
legal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Syempre, we don't want to, I mean, immigration is very contentious a topic, no?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are a lot of immigrants also na are criminals. We don't want them. I mean, I know from past acquaintances na, they come in, they commit a crime, they're arrested, they're sent back to the country, they find another way to come in. I mean, kung pupunta ka dito para maayos yung
Manggulo.
buhay mo, kung maayos yung buhay mo, di
Uh-uh.
okay, welcome ka. Pero you also have to respect the laws, di ba?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
immigration reform has to happen. Definitely.
Definitely.
Pero if you're separating families for what? Ano ba? anong ano yung purpose nun?
For
Para
like
Yeah.
pakitang ano tayo, stern as a
Yeah.
country? That really speaks differently about our
Mhm.
family values. Diba?
Exactly.
So going back
Mhm.
to your question kanina, Filipinos, and we're talking about how religion plays an important, a big factor in why Trump is supported by a lot of Filipinos. Let's go back to that. What about immigration? What about family values? Hindi ba importante yun? And if you're talking about abortion, mga yan ang now you're hearing about the difference between pro-life, right?
Exactly.
And pro-birth, right? Kasi kung ayaw mo ng kung pro-life ka, you better be prepared to support that life from childhood to adulthood, and if that means social security benefits, welfare benefits, that's part of pro-life. So iba ang pro-life sa pro-birth. Ayaw mo ng abortion, birth lang, pero lalaki yan, susuportahan mo ba?
And then, kahit na hindi nila masuportahan, they're just for, what you call this, they're not really supportive of, what you call this, marriage equality. So, how are those children that aren't being, like, that mothers can't support or like families can't support because malay mo it came from rape, or talagang bata pa yung anak na nagkaroon ng merong tong LGBTQ couple that are willing to adopt that person, pero for that child, pero you're not supporting marriage equality too. Ang sakit ng ulo ko.
Nakakainis kasi, di ba, we're so parang righteous. That's the word. Lax, biblical. Nakakainis di ba? Ang galing, bilis natin. We throw that word around like it's, pro-life. Pro-life kami. Filipinos are pro-life. We're anti-abortion. We're pro-life. Hey, what? I don't, to a certain age. Yeah.
And diba? I think, like, some of those that I know, yung the way, yung thinking nila, kasi parang hindi naman sila apektado, pero hindi sila apektado directly, but in a way it's like looking at it, it's like, yes, you're not affected directly, but you were literally affected indirectly. Kahit papaano, like, this will happen not just kahit hindi nangyayari sa family mo, pwedeng mangyari ito sa mga kaibigan mo. Parang gano'n. Pero dahil hindi nangyayari sa kanila, iba yung pananaw nila. Iba yung pati yung pagtingin nila, katulad dun sa atin, yung the way they think about the immigrations, like, hindi naman kayo kailangan dito eh. Katulad nung ganyan, yung pananaw na yan pananaw natin before na yun nga, naghirap tayo, pumasok tayo dito na legally, ganyan. Pero hindi na naiintindihan how those other people suffer from those border na trying to get in. And the factors of those. Pero ang pananaw nila, dapat hindi kayo dito kasi pabigat lang kayo sa government, ganyan. Alam mo, may ganun sila na pabigat lang kayo sa government. But the thing is, like, try to listen to their story first before doing that. Before saying all of those, try to listen on their stories. Why? And then some of those, and most of the Filipinos are, like what you said, ate, are against LGBTQ. Yung thinking pa din nila, ang very, very conservative, Catholic, even though, like, nasa LA ka na, like, even the Catholic churches here in LA are very progressive. Iba na yung teaching nila. Yun naman yung pinupuntahan mong simbahan.
Yeah.
Pero bakit ganun pa rin yung thinking nyo?
Kasi yan, deeply rooted na sa atin, sa culture natin, ang religious beliefs. If you introduce something new, like, how many people freaked out when the Pope said, okay lang ang mga gay, di ba? I mean, in the Philippines, mga pare, halos nag-revolt na dahil, oh my
Oh,
God, alam ba niya kung anong sinasabi niya?
sabi
That's the
niya.
Pope, man. That's the church's
Mhm.
Representative
leader,
of Jesus or
right?
God.
Yes.
And
Or
you're saying that he's wrong?
ano,
Parang, yes.
Oriel, pala your mic I think is like hitting your shirt.
Sorry.
Okay
Naririnig
lang.
namin ang puso mo.
Yes.
Ang malaking puso mo.
So sexy.
Rinig ko yung kaskas.
Ah,
Mm-mm.
Sorry
so,
naman.
yun, di ba? It's deeply rooted. So when you introduce something new, para bang nabubulabog yung mundo natin as Catholics, di ba?
Mhm.
Parang, oh, hindi yun ang turo ng 400 years ago. Parang gano'n, di ba? But,
Yeah.
it's, that's a bigger conversation that needs to happen. Pag pastor na ako, pag-usapan natin.
Pwede namang hindi din.
Di ba? It's really sad kasi,
Mhm.
Catholic faith has taught me a lot. A lot of the things that I know about Jesus and God is rooted from what I learned growing up as Catholic. Pero you know, uh, a relationship with God is constantly evolving. Hindi
Yes.
tayo, we shouldn't really be boxed into uh, being limited in our thinking of how big God is. Di ba? Para bang,
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, interracial marriages were not, we had slavery, we had interracial marriages.
Yeah.
So, yun ba ang God na believe natin when we know better? But some
Mhm.
people would rather um, stay with the traditional belief,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And another
And
thing I also think of, like, aside from religion, I know like a lot of us come here because the life in the Philippines is hard, and it's hard also to
Mhm.
be at least middle class or upper middle class in the Philippines, and you come here to work. You think like another reason is because um, the Republicans push more of ways for you to become, you know, become that person, like the American dream, ika nga na, like we'll give you more money, more whatever, like if you do your job, like, so,
Mhm.
you know what I'm trying to say. Kasi
Yeah.
kunyari, mahal ang healthcare for all, mas lalaki ang taxes, blah blah blah, this and that. So it's like a lot of their laws are taking away from the hard-earned income, ika nga,
Mhm.
so that you can rise above from where you were before or maintain the status that you want to have.
Mm.
Do you think that's also a reason kung bakit madaming Republicans? Because I think some of the people that I know that are LGBTQ are more concerned about fiscal. Is it fiscal? No, sorry, no, financial um, aspects of the Republicans, like what Republicans do for um, the laws that they pass.
well, I wish that's what if you're protesting and being a Republican supporter, just in general, it's not just limited to Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then that's what you should be protesting for. You're fighting for that because not this somebody who represents racism, systemic
Mhm.
racism, violence, no respect for women. Ano eh. So are you saying then na parang okay lang lahat yon kasi yayaman naman tayo,
Well,
magpa-prosper tayo, di ba?
I would think kasi sila, well, kasi I think they're stuck in a bubble because all they do is work and then hang out with their
Mm.
friends. And
Yeah.
then like they really don't see like the bigger picture. Kasi at least, I mean, for me, speaking just for myself, kung hindi ako na-introduce, I think sa MCC, hindi magiging ganun ka laki yung mata ko sa social justice aspect. I would have just been in like, I
The
would have been
production.
working and
Mhm.
then going
Mm-hmm.
home and then hanging out with friends and be like listening to whatever news that my friends are listening to. So I guess it's also the people that they're with, or I don't know.
Are you saying that Democrats are attracting more social justice individuals? And
Um, for the younger generation, I would think yes. And putting the term, like putting this term woke, more woke people.
Yeah.
pero you have
Don't
your
wanna,
Bernie Sanders na hindi
yeah,
naman Republican or Democrat, right? So
Mm-hmm.
para bang they just want, I think the younger generation just wants to see change
yes, for
from
sure.
both parties.
Yeah.
Diba?
Probably because nakikita na ng younger generation yung mas effective way. Kasi sila yung, kumbaga sila yung lahat ng nagmamana nung ginagawa ng mga older, especially right now na the social media are there. They can see everything. Unlike before, kumbaga, let's just say the older generation,
Hoy, 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 ha?
nagbe-base, hindi naman, di ate, di ba? Kumbaga,
Woke ka naman ate eh. Diba?
oh, di ba, sabihin na natin na before na ang means of communication lang natin, ang means of news and information lang natin before
TV.
is TV. Is
Yes.
TV. Whatever we see in the TV, yun lang yung paniniwalaan natin somehow. And whatever whatever they say on the TV, whatever those journalists are telling on the television, that's why some of the states, because katulad nun, some of the states, ang station lang nila is available is facts. So
Mhm.
whatever they listen on facts, whatever they heard on facts, whatever they watch, yun yung napapaniwalaan nila kasi yun yung facts na yun yung totoong tingin nilang balita.
Mm-mm.
Unlike right now, there's all of these means, social media, that we can already do the fact checking if
Mhm.
the informations are wrong or not. And then probably because right now mas nakikita ng younger generation kung ano yung mga mali na ginawa before ng mga ano to nung mga older generation, yung the way, even yung mga batas na ginawa nila, 'di ba? Parang sa kanila lang tawag to, parang sila lang ah yung mga batas na ginagawa nila parang para sa kanila lang, 'di ba? Especially those Republicans, parang ang mas inaano nila, I might say na parang ang focus nila yung mga mayayaman.
Oh, yeah.
Mas focus nila yung mga mayayaman. Pero hindi nila kinukuha yung pera ng mga mayayaman, hindi nila tinatax yung mga millionaires and billionaires.
Mhm.
Hindi nila tinatax din yung mga big corporations, 'di ba? Hindi nila tinatax yung mga bigger corporations. Mas mababa yung percentage ng tax nila compared dun sa mga workers, compared dun sa mga middle class employees na ang tax nila is nasa 32%. But those millionaires and billionaires mas mababa, 'di ba? Tapos hindi nila nakita yung problem ng tax reform na pinas ni Trump, na mas affected yung middle class worker and your hard earning workers kasi mas mataas yung tax na nakukuha nila, mas mababa yung tawag nito. Ano ba to? Ano ba nangyari? Basta mas mababa yung tax na binigay niya sa mga millionaires,
Mm.
'di
Mas
ba?
marami silang like tax write-off tsaka tax
May
Yeah,
breaks.
tax break.
Mga tax
tax
breaks. Yeah.
breaks.
Yes.
Mas marami silang tax breaks.
Correct.
So, do you still, kasi for me, since the pandemic, it's really hard to just focus on stuff na negative kasi parang ang hirap na wala ka na masyadong avenue to be with people physically na have the same minds. So, ang tanging safe space ko na lang mostly is social media. So, what I've done so far is anything na if I feel it's toxic, I've blocked it, and most of them are my friends na Trump supporters. Not all, but mostly. Para lang I just can't see it because it just makes me pissed off. Do you guys still do you guys still try to change people's minds on certain issues, or do you just let it be at the mean? Like for me, I quit. Like the only thing that I would do right now is just do this Charot Room or whatnot para lang to just voice my own opinions in a kind of fun way, hopefully.
I think it depends on what social media you're using. Ako kasi ang pinakamasayang social media ko na parang pantanggal, alam mo pantanggal na is Instagram. Instagram, walang masyadong issue, just like good pictures, funny videos, sexy men,
thirst traps.
Yeah, yung mga ganon, di ba? They somehow my means of like using Facebook sometimes, like means of like connecting on the people in the Philippines, trying to check whatever is in the news, and the same as the Twitter. Alam mo yun? And somehow I don't block those people on my Facebook kasi whatever I posted it, as long as they can see me, as long as they can see it, somehow they change their perspective.
Yes.
They change their perspective. Kasi kung ibablock natin sila, ang mas nakikita nila, yung parehas lang nila ng views.
Right. So long as
hindi ako converse sa kanila.
Well, I was gonna say, so long as sila ang hindi magpo-post sa'yo, condemning you. Because page mo yun.
Yes. Yeah.
Diba? So hopefully, kung hindi nila kaya yung mga sinusulat mo, yung mga pictures mo, sila na mismo ang mag-unfriend sa'yo. Diba?
Yeah. Yun yung actually yung parang prinsipyo ko. Parang ganun, no? It's up
self-unfriend.
To you. Yeah, it's up to you if you want to delete me or whatever. Pero hindi kita ibablock, hindi kita unfriend.
Right.
You will see whatever you will see whatever I will post. If it's against you, it's against you. It's up to you. Parang ganun.
I love that you're so being in seminary, you're challenged with issues like that, no? Kasi I would like to think that most of my Facebook friends that I know of na talagang kilala are Democrats or at least liberal, right? So, magpo-post ako, ng pro-democratic whatever, and then I find that a couple of my friends are Republican pala for whatever reason. So ngayon isip ko, paano nakapasok yan? Right? So, they're still friends of mine in Facebook, pero hindi ko na sila fina-follow. Minsan, ang mga post sila lumalabas. Siyempre, nagre-react ako. Ito na naman, I come back to, paano nakapasok? Dapat i-delete ko na lang, right? Pero I like you, hopefully, pwede pa rin kaming maging magkaibigan.
Yeah.
Pero let's not talk about politics. Kaya lang, mga posts naman nila, puro politics. Kaya
nakakagindi.
Di ba parang, ano ba pinagsasabi nito? Pero, di ba sabi nga sa Bible, pareho tayo dapat, we have to find common ground somehow. Kahit na mahirap. So, I'm working on that kasi talagang minsan naasar ako sa mga post Talagang tapos what about if it's your family member, 'di ba?
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah.
Magpo-post lang ng anti-LGBT knowing na LGBT ka.
Yeah.
Ano 'yun?
Yeah.
Chain letter pa 'yan So alam mo na pinili nila yung recipients. Bakit ka kasali? Di ba nila alam? Right? So, anong gagawin mo? I mean, I have confronted my relatives who have said that. I will tell them, why am I in this? Why am I in this chain? Why am I here? So either magpo-post sila ng heart na I love you, or so they're not really direct. In other words, hindi nila binabasa yung complete thing. Babasahin lang nila na let's pray for America or
Oh
the
my.
world. Pero
Yeah.
hindi nila binabasa yung specifics. Tapos
Yeah.
ipapunch nila, hello.
Mhm.
Hello.
Okay.
You know.
Mhm.
Napaka
Ako, te,
napakabigat.
na-realize, mm,
Malapit na tayo maubusan ng oras.
na-realize ko dyan, te, if in order for them, para kasi ang sa Facebook, kung against ka sa kanila, post ka lang ng post ng against dun sa post niya, basta wag ka lang magko-comment.
Oo. Yun na nga yun.
Kasi yun ang una nilang nakikita. Yun ang napansin ko eh. If you are posting more na against dun sa paniniwala nila, and yun yung nakikita nila, mas binabasa nila yon. Tapos hindi, kasi ikaw yung una nilang nakikita eh. Pero hindi ka magko-comment dun sa kung ano mang sinasabi nila. Ako yung ginagawa ko, ayokong magkaroon kami ng dialogue within the Facebook, especially kung kamag-anak or...
Paano kung sila mag-dialogue sa'yo? Another usapan na to kasi paubos na tayo ng oras.
Oo nga. Oo,
Di ba? Ang haba ng usapan.
Buti na lang sa end do kasi masakit na sa puso.
Oo.
Pero thank you Thank you for sharing your thoughts and points of view. I really enjoyed having you guys.
Thank you for inviting us.
Any promotions that you want, like any stuff that you want to promote?
Promote daw. Yan.
Founders and Open Table MCC in the Philippines.
Oh yes. Oh, please, MCC, if you are in a faith journey, if you're questioning your faith, your sexuality, and your spirituality, found MCC, the MCC denomination all over America and outside of America is there for you, to help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oriel?
Ako naman, right now we're currently doing some project in the Philippines that involves giving study to those youth living with HIV. Kasi those youth are living in shelters and somehow pinatalsik sila sa bahay because they are HIV positive. So nag-stop sila ng studies nila. So we are trying to, right now we are communicating with one of the organization in the Philippines, which is Gabay, that trying to do those project. Hopefully it will flourish this year.
And if you have the link, send it to me. I'll link it.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Very good.
All right. Thank you.
More information.
Thank you all. Thank you for watching Charot Room. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Okay, ingat.
Loves.